Hello dear, I'm leesusss. Welcome back to Infinifactory. I'm just having a quick break. Don't mind me eating food off the floor. The yellow ones are my favourite. I've just completed a quest. And a challenge, a puzzle. It wasn't a very exciting one. But there were a couple of points on there that I thought were interesting, hence the title of this video. So we're going to do a little run through of this and then do the performance review. It might be a short video, I don't know. But I think what happened in this one was quite important. So we're actually going to start with solution 2 first. Okay. And what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to go and see the failure log in a second. By the way, this is what we were making here is this probe thing here, whatever it is, this flying drone thing. I presume these are for, don't know, what do you reckon those front bits are for? Vacuum up things? Vacuum up humans? Zapping them? Who knows? Anyway, let's go over here. We're going to go to this failure log over this way. Okay.
Hello? Is this a radio? Can anyone hear me? Where am I? There must be someone out here. Please. Hello? If you can hear me, please say something. Please.
Wow, that was very, very sad and lonely, unexpected. There'll be something more interesting than that, but this just a poor guy alone. I guess failing at finishing one of these puzzles. Which is all we can do, really. I mean, I'm thinking that I don't know if it said this earlier in the series, but I think you don't go back until you finish this puzzle. Okay, so if you don't finish it, you're not going to get any food or water, or presumably any more oxygen. I presume we can't breathe this environment, which is why we're in suits, and therefore you die. But there we go. Anyway, so this puzzle was pretty straightforward and not very exciting overall. Okay, but there was something that I did that I thought was useful, and it's going to be more and more useful going forward, which is logic gates. Now, I haven't bothered with logic gates before, even though I wanted to, just because I tried them a couple of times and didn't really get very far, because I missed one key point of how to do them in this level. And I've now discovered, well, I found one way of doing it myself, which is this god-awful mess here, and I looked up, after I'd done that, I looked up an alternative as well, and I've pretty much got another way of doing it. Which one is better? I don't know. We can see. But this mocked together obscenity here will give you an idea of what I've done for the gates. So the problem with making logic gates, such as AND gates in here, presuming that you've got two things, maybe two blocks, like I don't know, two of these in front of this sensor here, is that when something goes in front of one of these sensors, or the sensors from above, a light goes off, a message goes off through these conduits to something else. Okay, but it's hard to interrupt that by saying don't send a signal here until both of these are lit up. It doesn't really work like that. The system is too simple. There's no logic gate block or anything like that. So you have to sort of make one yourself. And one of the ways I was thinking of doing that was with using blocks such as these here. Let's just get rid of this for now. And having a block that maybe moves around, and in its moving around triggers different things happening. Okay, it's like a separate circuit to everything else on here. But there's a problem with that. This is the initial problem that I had. If we start time now, okay, even if this isn't here, this doesn't move, although it's in a conveyor belt, because it has been created attached to this block, essentially, and I could not work out how to get around that. And the answer is quite simple, actually. Come on, me, just do the right button. There we go. You have to start off with floating blocks. So, for example, you saw this one was floating up here. At this point here, it is not attached to anything right now, and time is stopped. Okay, so if I now start time, the block now falls down and is now interacting with a conveyor belt like any other block would be. So now we can move this block around and cause things to happen. Okay, and that was really the key thing that I had to learn and realise, that you had to have it had to be disconnected in some way so you could drop it down. In fact, we could actually put it here. There we go, that's more efficient. There you go, it falls down. Okay, so the next thing was how to get two things to trigger. So these are our two sensors, which is key for this puzzle here. Two things need to be in front of these sensors here for output here to happen. Okay, so let's put down we haven't got nothing at all. We do at the start. These pistons are in the way and are preventing this block from moving its little trajectory around these things here. So if we put the first one in like this, now it has caused this piston to pull back, and now the block can progress slightly. And if we have a second one in there as well, oh, not a good block to use. Let's do something else. Let's use let's use these. Idiot. No, I can't do it there, can I? Because that's now in the way. Oh god, what a demonstration. There we go. Right, okay, so the block's floating up here. These two are ready to go. Presumably they've been transported in from somewhere else, been carried in by a conveyor belt. And now this little block progress along here. It can trip this sensor here and cause the output. Okay, in other words, we've created an AND gate. Okay, and this can cycle back to the start and do that from there. Okay, so there's another way of doing this as well. We can talk about that in a minute. But although it wasn't absolutely necessary to have this in this level, it is a useful part of completing this level. And I think it's going to be more and more necessary as we go forward. And although this is a mess, I've made smaller versions. I'm kind of proud of myself for actually being able to make an AND gate and make it function, and know I can use that again in the future. It's like programming, isn't it? You learn programming bits of code, and then you use those again and again in the future. It's a little tool set that you've created for yourself. So I'll be using a tool set like this again and again. And in fact, I've got one working here. So before we talk about the second form of doing an AND gate that I looked up online, let's just look again at this thing we're making here. Most of these parts are pretty easy. It's gluing these bits together, like these four front pieces and these like three long jets. We've done that so many times. That's fine. It's easy. The only tricky part may be making this 2x3x2 block in the middle here. And the way to do that is out of this just behind this Shmee machine where we were working here. So the blocks come out here. Two of them get stuck together. And then you can see where the AND gate's going to happen, okay? In fact, three of them get stuck together. Three of them go down to there. There we go. As the second ones come out, they're going to cause the second triggering. Okay, what are they actually doing there? Well, over here we have our floating block, okay, in place. And when the first set of three comes down, they open the first part of the AND gate, which pulls... It actually triggers this one as well because it's falling down past it. But it actually triggers this one. Then it triggers this one. And when this happens, this comes around here, hits the sensor, and there's a piston in here which will kick the whole unit off to the next part over here. And we're going to get another one come through. There we go. I've got a block of 2x3x2. Okay, so there you go. And this is much more compact over here. You can see this is quite a small amount of space. The problem is separating the cable here. So for example, if I ran the cable straight across here, it would be interfering with this block here. And also I've saved a cable by having these two next to each other, so as soon as this sensor's triggered, it affects this block because it's right next to it. Okay, there's like an invisible connection between the two of these little sockets here. So this is a pretty compact version, and again, I'm inordinately proud of myself for managing to do that. So there we go, AND gates. So I will use those again. Now before we do that, let's go back to the cell, because I can show you the other version that I looked up online and then went, oh, that's obvious, I should have used that instead. So this time, same thing before, we have an AND gate here, but this time we have a floating piece of cable. And again, I can probably make a more elegant version of this. But you can see the similarities in the block. We've got the two sensors here, and this time what happens is this conveyor belt is kicking this bit of cable off. Okay, and what happens is, if I can remember correctly, signal 1, of tripping through here causes the piston to push the cable back into place where it can form a connection, and then when the second block comes down, it actually causes the signal to pass through the cable to kick the piston off. Now, whether this is better than my version or not, I think it will vary from place to place. This is the one that I saw online. I thought, of course I can move cables around. I was only thinking in terms of blocks. I was thinking very in a limited fashion. But I like this one as well. I don't know which one I'm going to use in the future. I think it would depend on how many cables are around, how much is... Actually, I think I might also look at how much space this is actually taking up. I do kind of like my solution for the last one here. It fitted in very nicely. It was quite elegant, but I guess there's less pistons here used here, but there's more cables. Remember, these supporting blocks don't count towards the block title. It's things like this and this and this that do. Okay, so both solutions will work though, and we'll run with this one I think for now, because just because I haven't got the little demo unit over here taking up block groups. Now I've done what I could to reduce most of the space around here, cut down conveyor belts where I can, but essentially it's not that hard. Oh, sorry. Oops. Let's not do that and ruin the entire system. So 3 pieces get put together here. This is the jets, or whatever they are, the propulsion units. They get passed across under here, and they get aligned so they're in the right sort of place. They come across, and then I lift it up. I can't get inside here. There we go. To marry up with this, where it's already waiting, and carries it through to this side over here. There was only one little wrinkle, a couple of little wrinkles in this level that were a little annoying, which is that the lifter block here doesn't carry it quite high enough, so it ends up slightly below the platform. So you have to push it off to the side to do. Hold on. Could I have done this better? The lifter here is pushing underneath this piece here. If I had the lifter pushing here, I can make this simpler again. Okay, so what I did was on this one, because the lifter wasn't lifting this high enough, I had a little piston detector system here to kick it across the side to be lifted higher by another block. Okay, but I can simplify this further because I've been stupid. What I could have done here is, hold on, let's run it through to here. I can tuck a lifter, one of these things here, a levitator, underneath this here. I can put one here, can't I? I think. Will that work? Will that lift that higher? Am I thinking wrong here? Can I save? Can I save on a block? Or a couple of blocks? Sorry, I'm being stupid. Get rid of that one. There we go. Oh, it's live editing. Live editing of a solution. Come on. Am I doing it wrong? Okay, give me a second to try and sort some of this out. Okay, sadly not. No, I couldn't save a little bit over here. The lifter, by putting the lift a little bit higher, it still wasn't lifting the whole unit high enough up to get it onto an area where I wouldn't have to give it a little push with another lifter or a piston or something like that, which is kind of a shame. But never mind. I could possibly do it. Possibly I could have done something over here where I would advance it at this point here, lift it up a little bit higher and then do it again. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it for now. It is fine. Maybe instead of... I don't know. I'd have to use another lifter of some sort. Somewhere along the line I'd have to lift it higher. However I did it. So it's fine. The solution I have for now is fine. This bit over here is very simple. This is just a matter of stacking together a couple of pieces. Again, it's not very hard. Very, very simple. And these stack up over here, these front pieces. Now the last wrinkle that was in the level, this thing was a little petty, which I did encounter once before, a long time in a previous level, I don't remember, was you start to carry this across to here and just think, I can feed this thing. I've finished it, isn't that great? I can just shove it onto here. No, you can't, because the conveyor belts push as far as like here, but then because this unit here is narrow, it's only 2 across at the base, pushing it to here, it will stop 1 square short of actually being completely centered on the exit platform here, which is kind of frustrating. So then you have to feed the thing back over this way and then back onto it. If I don't have to make it quite as grand as that, I can do a smaller circuit if I wanted to. I could just take it a little bit to the side and then kick it on there. But never mind, it's fine. And the point is, it finishes. It works. So let's do this. We will get our little reward ceremony, and then we'll move on to newer and brighter things, which will presumably contain and gates. I haven't made any other gates yet, by the way. I'm sure I can make some ore, Nor and ore gates and all the rest of them if I can, but they'd probably be a little bit easier, quite frankly. But getting that first one done was the key thing. Come on, get the last one in. How are we going to do? Probably not very efficient, as usual. Not bad. Slightly ahead of cycles. Middle of the road for footprint, as usual. I could reduce this, though. And not bad for block score. Good. Oh, they get a little tune there. Boom. Let's have our performance review. See what the alien overlords think of my performance. Oh, wow. Did I get down? Am I dead? What did that say? Oh, that's not good. Ooh, spinal cords. Am I free? Is this the end of the game? Really? Could I have crouched? I don't think I can crouch, can I?
Hey, stay with me. Good.
Is it good?
Are they healthy?
Yes.
Like an ox, as you say.
I said that once!
What alien?
They're shooting at us.
Of course they are.
Maneuvering out of strike zone.
Hey, stay with us.
Going.
Come on. Come on.
I guess there are other aliens, aren't there? It isn't just us. What do you mean gone? I'm not dead, am I? You said I was like an ox. I'm a dead ox. Am I beefsteak? Oh, we've got people. And an alien. Well, we're going to save this for next time, I think. Are we the resistance now? Are we fighting against the aliens? The bad aliens? Cool. I'm excited by that. Okay, guys. Right. That was more expensive. I thought I was going to be just going on to... I don't know. What? Doing more puzzles for overlords into infinity. I've been conditioned. I'm too used to prison now. Okay, right. Let's call this here. I want to go and talk to the aliens. One of them had a very nice voice. Not broken. Totally broken. Okay, right. I'm getting distracted. Let's call it here, and I'll see you again next exciting video.